Part 2. You will hear an interview with an expert beekeeper called Sarah Jenkins talking about keeping bees in urban areas. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14.
Good evening. Tonight we are looking at the rising trend of bringing nature back into our cities. We are joined by Sarah Jenkins, who has been keeping bees on rooftops in London for over 10 years. Sarah, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So, urban beekeeping. Is it something anyone can do?
Well, that's the first thing I usually have to address. People assume that to keep bees, you need a huge amount of outdoor space, like a country garden. This is a common misconception. You might also worry that it takes up too much personal time, or even that it is illegal to do it in city centres. But none of that is true. In fact, bees thrive in cities. You can easily keep a hive on a small balcony or a roof terrace.
But surely, keeping thousands of stinging insects in a city is risky?
You have to be responsible, of course, but honeybees are generally very calm creatures. They haven't had their stings removed, as some people jokingly ask, but they are very safe because they are entirely focused on finding nectar. They are not interested in humans. People often confuse them with wasps, which can be much more aggressive, but bees will usually only sting if their home is directly attacked.
And why should people do it? Is it to produce their own food?
The honey is a great bonus, but you certainly won't make enough to sell it, so don't do it just to save money on buying honey. Actually, the primary reason most of my students start is for conservation. They are worried about the decline in insect populations and want to do something practical to support the local environment.
Is it expensive to set up?
It can be. A good quality hive will cost a bit. You might be tempted to make your own hives from wood to save cash or buy second-hand items online, but diseases can easily hide in old wood. My main advice is simply to avoid buying the lowest priced products. Cheap wood rots quickly and makes the bees sick.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 15 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
If you're thinking of starting, my biggest piece of advice is do not try to learn it from a book or YouTube videos alone. Beekeeping is a highly practical skill. I strongly recommend joining your local association. They run beginner courses where you can actually handle bees with an expert before you buy your own. And
Are there any rules people need to know about?
you should always inform your neighbours before starting. Also, you must be careful not to have too many hives in one area. If there are too many bees, they will compete for food and start robbing weaker hives.
You mentioned disease earlier. Is that a big problem?
It is, but currently the biggest threat for city bees isn't disease or pollution, it's actually pesticides. People love their perfect lawns and roses, so they spray chemicals in their private gardens, which is completely fatal to bees.
What about the harvest? How much honey can you get?
A healthy hive produces a lot of honey, but a word of warning, never take all of it. Ensure you leave enough honey for the bees to survive the winter. And when you store your share, always use glass jars with tight lids. Plastic isn't great because honey absorbs moisture from the air, and if it gets wet, it will spoil.
Finally, Sarah, is there anyone who shouldn't keep bees?
Well, obviously, if you have severe allergies to stings, it's not for you, but also beekeeping is physical work, so if you have a bad back, you will definitely struggle without help, mainly because a full box of honey is surprisingly heavy to lift off the hive.
Sarah, thank you. It's been fascinating.
That is the end of Part 2. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to Part 2.